What's up, poker players? Hope you guys are out there cashing in on the tables. Made a little bit of a risky move last night and moved up stakes. Started playing one 200 NL game. Didn't do too bad at it. Got in a really good session though. Almost 8 hours, 7,000 hands, almost 1,000 hands an hour, which is what I'm going for. Was about even. Wound up being up 86 bucks on the session, but I'm sure we've got some interesting spots to look at in this almost 7,000 hand session. Let's jump into it. First hand we're looking at is Ace Queen offsuit from the cutoff at the 100 NL table. We have one limp from under the gun plus 2 and we isolate, but we get a 3-bet from the small blind. The limper gets out of the way, and pocket play at 9 is a recreational player, pretty high 3-bet percentage, so I decided to make a call here in position against this player. And we wind up flopping top pair, top kicker. Pocket player has $49 in their stack. There's 26 in the pot, less than 2-to-1 in stack to pot ratio, so we are pretty much pot committed here, and they come out with a almost pot size bet on the flop. I raise, get it all in, and we get a call. It is Ace Queen against pocket 9s. We have to avoid a 9 going into the turn and river, and we do, and take down that pot of $121. Here's a nice big blind win of the evening, taking down 121 big blinds. We have pocket kings under the gun, open raise to 3x. We get a call from under the gun plus 2, and we get a 3-bet from the cutoff. The 3-better has a very wide 3-bet range, recreational player, and hasn't folded to a 4-bet yet, so I put in a 4-bet to 2.5x their 3-bet. And we get a call. See a flop, there's already 27.25 in the pot, and this player has 48.85 behind. We wind up flopping middle set, and I slow play it here, and they also slow play it. They check back. The 4 of clubs does not help out any hands on the turn. I lead out for 950. That'll set us up pretty well with a river bet that will be less than a pot size bet, but they put in a min raise here on the turn, and I just call. The river's the 6 of spades. They only have 30 bucks in their stack and there's 65.25 in the pot. I just jam all in here. If they have the spades, they're gonna get it in anyway, and we're gonna lose. So you might as well try to get value from the hands that you do beat by betting here. And they do call. We show trip kings against ace queen and take down that pot of $122. At the 100 NL table, we have pocket 9s out of the gun, open raise to 3x, and we get a call from the cutoff. See a heads up flop, jack high, rainbow. We check back with our 9s, and we get a continuation bet from the cutoff player of half pot. I make a call here with second pair and wind up turning a set of 9s. I check back as well, and we get a turn continuation bet. No more check calling. I put in a raise here on the turn, and we get a jam. Easy call with the set. We have to avoid a heart or a 10 going into the river, and we do, and take down that pot of 108.10. We were getting some big hands over at the 200 NL table, looking at pocket aces from under the gun plus 2, under the gun plus 1, open raise to 7. That is 3.5x, and we 3-bet here 23.50, a little bit larger than 3x their open raise, and we get a call. See a flop. Flop is 7 high, 2-tone, 2 diamonds out there. They check back. I put in a continuation bet of $29 here, and they jam all in. I know this board probably doesn't connect with a lot of hands. There's a chance that there's a strong flush draw in here or an over pair. All of the pairs over the board we beat, so we're good on that front. And we're still in a good spot up against a flush draw if that's what this player has. I don't expect too many pocket 7s, pocket 6s, and pocket 3s being in this pot. A 5-4 suited is possible, but I doubt that as well. So I do make the call here with the aces. Up against queens, we have to avoid a queen going into the turn and river, and we do, and take down the biggest pot of the 100K challenge, $400 on the head. Still at the 200 NL table. You can see our chip stack went down a little bit, but we now have pocket kings on the button. We get an open raise from under the gun plus 1 to 5, and we get a 3-bet from the cutoff. I put in a 4-bet in this spot to $36, 3x the 3-bet. It's kind of an aggressive bet, but I think this player here would be calling a lot of these bets with the short stack, and this player has a 0% fold to 4-bet over a very small sample size, but it continues when they do not fold once again. That is a pretty scary flop for pocket kings. They check back, and I put in a continuation bet of 1/2 pot, and they quickly call. There's now 157 in the pot. We both have fairly large stacks behind. They check, and I check as well on the turn 9, and we see a river of a 7 of spades. That connects with even more of the draws, but they check back. I'm content with just getting the showdown here, so I check, and we do not know what we were up against, but we take down a pot of 154. Pretty good hand, and building a big stack at the 200 NL table. Back to the 100 NL, we have pocket aces in the big blind. We get an open raise from the cutoff, and I put in a 3-bet to $11. We see a flop of jack high, rainbow. There's $22.50 in the pot, and they bet half pot. I just call. The 4 of diamonds doesn't help out too many hands. I check back again, and they bet almost 2/3 of the pot, actually over 2/3 of the pot. I thought about this one, but decided to make the call here, pot committing myself. The 5 of diamonds on the river doesn't really help out too many hands. I check, I'm going to check call the river, and they bet 30. I make the call and see that we're up against a set of jacks. Not the worst. We could have lost a lot more, but that is still a big loss. I think we could have played this one a little bit differently in some of the spots, you know, leading out on the flop or the turn, and pretty easily getting a fold when we do get raised in those spots. But we can learn from our mistake on this hand. Let me know what you guys think about this hand and what you would have done differently to try to avoid losing as much money as I did. Here's another one where we have pocket aces under the gun. We are still at the 100 NL table. Open raise to 3x. We get a call from under the gun +1, and we get a 3-bet from the big blinds. I put in a 4-bet here to $27.50. I see that the 3-better does not fold very much at all to 4-bets, so I think this is a great spot to put in a 4-bet. And we get a call. There's 64 on the flop already. There is 74 in Pablo 46's effective stack. He checks back. I check back as well on the king high board. Does not connect with many hands, and I think we can get more value from hands that we beat in the later streets. 5 of clubs comes on the turn. They check back again, and we bet $22, and Pablo jams all in. I know there's a good chance we're going to be running into kings here, but there's also a good chance we could see a hand like ace-king, possibly queens, possibly aces, and I cannot get rid of the aces here. I do make the call, and we were up against kings. They hit a king on the flop. That one is just a cooler, not much you can do about it. Lost a big pot. And if that hand goes our way, we would have won a lot more on the session, but I'm not complaining. Now we're looking at pocket kings on the button from the 50 NL table. We get a limp from the hijack seat, and I put in an isolation bet to $3. I see this player's very high VPIP and decide that I'm going to make my isolation bet much higher with a strong hand. That's a great move that you need to be looking at when you see a player with a high VPIP like that of 53%. Try to get as much value from your value hands as you can. Normally I'd be raising to 4x or 5x in this spot, but I decided to put in a 6x raise. And we see a flop of rainbow jack high. Does not connect with many hands, although this player could have some of those hands in that 53% VPIP. Probably not many 8-3s, but there could be some jack 8s. But besides that, that's all that we are really losing to within this player's range. They check back. I put in a continuation bet of 2/3 pot. Once again, we see very low fold numbers. We can put in a large bet sizing, and we get a call. Queen of spades on the turn. There's 15-31 in the pot, 42-24 in the player's effective stack. They check back. I bet half pot on the turn, and we get raised, a big time raise. And I actually did think about folding kings here. There's not a ton of hands that would be raising in this spot that we beat, besides flush draws, maybe an ace queen, maybe a king king queen, but this player's low aggression frequency means that they probably aren't going to be doing this too often with the big draws, and they're most likely only going to be doing it with made hands. But because this player does have some pretty fishy numbers, I do decide to get it all in here and see that we're up against a turn straight and drawing dead going into the river. That was a pretty lucky turn, but I love getting in hands with players like this in position, and once in a while they're going to hit these hands, but you're going to be making money from them in the long run. If I can only get some better table reads and fold this hand to a huge turn re-raise, I would have saved a ton of money, but this is another one we can learn from and improve on our game. What do you guys think about this hand? Would you guys have made the fold on the turn? Is it an easy fold? Is it a tough fold? I think this was a mistake, and I do think I should have made this fold, but I'd love to hear what you guys think. Head down to the video description and check out all the links for social media, as well as all the poker products that I use, including Hold'em Manager, which I use to review all of my poker sessions, just like in this video. I highly suggest Hold'em Manager if you guys are not using it yet. It provides live table reads by an immense database of statistics that will no doubt improve your online poker game. If you have not signed up for America's Card Room, which is where I'm doing my 100K challenge, use promo code DKPoker to receive a $1,000 cash deposit bonus as well as 50 tournament bucks. Hit that subscribe button if you guys have not done that yet. I am really enjoying the community that is building on this YouTube channel, so hit that subscribe button and join along with us. Give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and share this channel and video with any poker friends who might also be interested. Thanks for watching, poker players. I will be back with a new video very soon, but until then, I will see you guys out on the virtual felt.